What's going on, my JMO family? This is your boy Big C, back at you with another hot video. And like I always say, I can't stop and I won't stop. I'm going to continue with these videos. Today we will be reacting to the Houston Rockets-Boston game from last night. Houston blew a 26-point lead. Yes, a 26-point lead. So we're going to react to it. We're going to be looking at the first video. It's from the FS1 family with Chris, Carter, and Nick. I know you've seen a couple of my old videos. I have reacted to some of their stuff. So we're going to react to see what they got to say. And then, your boy here will give his opinion on how the game went. So let's jump right into the video here. Let's get it!
This game, I mean, you're up 26 points and you lose it. Tell me what this says. First, I'll start with the Celtics, what it means for this young Celtics team.
Okay, first we have to address the referees. The referee blew out his back in the warm-ups of the game. They didn't have a substitute or a replacement ref.
That's why there were only two refs.
Yes, they're typically R3, has nothing to do with national TV. All the games, James, I don't know if you know this, they're on some type of national TV, all right? It's called NBA Pass. That for all disclosure, but they blew this game. Completely in control of this game, without two of their starters, Capella and Chris Paul out, and another quality backup out. They were in complete control. Shot selection in the fourth quarter was bad. Defense in the fourth quarter was bad. Now, that's before we get to the final couple possessions.
James said, what should I do
when they're inbound? Well, you and the other guard, you line up on the elbows at the free throw line. You set a pick across the lane. One of you will break open. From the time I was in third grade, that's what the coach taught us. Or you line up in a stack formation. One guy breaks left, one guy breaks right. Then you get open that way. Marcus Smart was doing what Marcus Smart does at the end of games. So I didn't like the lack of overall just composure that James Harden didn't have. Now, the first call was a bad call. It was a flop.
Know your opponent.
But you have to be more creative in trying to get open. Either call a play for him or that's why they need Chris Paul. There's a reason why they have not lost a game with Chris Paul, and on this recent last 4 games, they're 0-4. Because at the end of games, they need more organization. And this is who James Harden is. He is not a classic point guard, so it's hard for him to close out games. He shot a 25-footer with 30 seconds left that was totally uncalled for. All you had to do was run the shot clock down to the bottom, and they won't have enough time to come back with the Celtics. So it's a colossal screw-up by the coach, by Houston Rockets. It's not a screw-up by the NBA with the ref getting injured.
All right, let me just address the end of the game for a moment. With 14 seconds left, the Rockets were trying to inbound the ball, and they couldn't. They called timeout. Then they're trying to inbound the ball at half court, and they couldn't, and they called timeout. Then they finally do get it inbounded. They hit some free throws. The Celtics then come down, score. Then the Rockets trying to inbound the ball, and they get an offensive foul called. Celtics take the lead. Then they're trying to inbound the ball. They had 4 times that they failed to inbound the ball. Listen, of course Marcus Smart was flopping. That is what he is known for. He is the biggest flopper in the league. And the second call to me was Tony Brothers, who's a ref known for doing some look-at-me stuff, really saying, look at me. After you call that one, to call the second one was truly outrageous. But even if he didn't call the second one, the Rockets were down 1 at that point in time with 3.5 seconds left, having to go the length of the court. They're probably going to lose the game anyway. So I understand Harden's frustration, but this was a lack of execution by them, not just in the waning moments. You're up 26 points in an NBA game. I understand you're without Clint Capella. I understand you're without Chris Paul. I know you're without Luc Mbamute.
But you were without all those players when you went up 26 points.
When you got up 20, exactly right. So
when you have
she spoke some true facts.
It's easier to maintain the lead.
Facts.
Of course.
It's not an excuse, but you're more talented, and those guys, and Chris Paul is going to give you a pace in the fourth quarter to be able to milk out the game to be able to win it.
Right, and so, listen, I didn't like the offensive foul calls, but you should have never been in that position. The other angle to this, be it Boston or Houston, from the Boston side of things, Boston, they're in a weird spot. Anytime in close games late, they believe they're going to win. And that's a great place to be in. They believe Brad Stevens is going to draw up great plays. They believe Kyrie's the best closer in basketball. Whether either of those things are true doesn't matter. That's what they believe, and they play like that. But they've played now 37 games. 16 of those, they've been down double digits. That is a disproportionate number for a good team. To be down double digits in nearly half your games. Now, they've won half of those. They're 8-8 in those games. I don't know that you can survive that way long term in the NBA against good teams, even though yesterday they did it against one of the best teams.
There's only one team that's been down more than that. That's Golden State.
The only one team has a better winning percentage. They've been down, Golden State's been down double digits 10 times, but they're 7-3. They're the only team that has a better record in those situations.
Okay, Golden State, now they don't have an excuse.
Right.
Boston has an excuse. They're not as talented as everyone. It's not as if they're down in these games. They're underperforming. They have better players. Their second best player is out for the year, at least in Gordon Hayward. So they are a young team that has gotten down. That's not, to me, it depends on how you want to look at it. They are also a team that gets down that don't give up on each other.
Correct.
So for me, their overall sports character is developing. A 19-year-old, a 20-year-old, a Kyrie said, I want a team that's my team. Man, that's like finding gold. They know they can win. With a young team with inexperience, there is no lead, even against the best offensive team in Houston, there is no lead that is safe. To me, I believe that will pay dividends for this team. And if this team ever gets in the championship conversation, they will remember nights like this, where the team came together and it could have easily been frayed, but they decided that, you know something, we're going to win these games.
Brad Stevens can teach all he wants, but the one thing you can't teach is confidence, and that's the one intangible that, for a young team, is very impressive. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from...
That's the video, people. Not a long one today, but that's the video. Now it's time for your boy to jump into it. All right. What I feel about the game from last night. All right, this is how I feel. The calls on James Harden, questionable, of course, okay? We know James Harden is one of the most going to the free throw line, take two players in the game. You know, he's always going to the free throw line. But what I kept saying is you got to know your opponent. So you got to know who you're playing. James Harden has to know he's playing against Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart, to me, is one of the best defensive players in the NBA. I feel like his defense in the NBA is one of the best, especially at the 1 or 2 position. He can definitely guard. My bad. He can definitely guard. So James Harden has to know who he's playing against. He has to know he's playing against Marcus Smart. He has to know Marcus Smart flops a little bit. So he has to know at the end of the game, you got to be smart. Marcus Smart also makes you want to push him. He's the type of player that gets under your skin. So he makes you want to push him. So James might have just pushed off just a little bit. And that's what I saw, just a little of a push off. But the refs are going to call that because they want to see an interesting game. The whole world wants to see an interesting game. They don't want to see a 26-point blowout. They want to see what they saw. A 26-point blowout at the beginning, and then coming down in the fourth quarter, a close game that looks like it's about to change, and that's what happened. So you have to know your opponent. Another thing, like the lady said, you got a 26-point lead. There's no reason for you to be complaining about the L. Take the L and walk out the arena with your head held high. You got to take that L. You got a 26-point lead. Yeah, you was missing Chris Paul. Yeah, you was missing Clint Capella. You was missing a lot of players. But you got a 26-point lead. You got to take the win. You can't lose in that situation. But if you do lose, you take that L, you got to take that L with your head held high. You got to be like, hey, we took that L. Even though we was missing some key players, we had a 26-point lead. And we lost it in the fourth quarter. You got to take that L. That's on you. And then, like I said, Boston is a young team. They're a very young team. And you know, when you're young, you going to try anything and everything to get what you want. I remember when I was young, my dad told me, like, hey, look, I love Jordans. I love Jordans. I love the shoe Jordans. I love them. I love them. There's only a few numbers that I don't like, but I love most of the numbers. And my dad was like, if you can come up with half on it, we'll get you the J's. I did everything possible. Cut grass, went out, raked leaves for people, whatever it took to get my half so I could get on them J's. That's how Boston is. They're a young team. They're going to do whatever they have to do to win the game. I don't care if it's 2 seconds left and they down by 5 points. They still in their heads believe they can win the game. That's how young people is. I don't consider myself young no more. I'm at the age of 30, so I don't consider myself a young buck anymore. But that's how young. That's how you know when you're young, you just go. You don't care how much seconds, time, hours, days are left. You gonna go. You gonna go full speed, and that's what Boston gonna do. And that's what they did. They said they don't care how much time, they don't care how big the lead was. They gonna go. They gonna get the W, and they did. They pulled out the W. So you got to give respect to them. So I know James Harden was upset about one of the refs being hurt, but like the lady said, there was only 2 refs when you was up by 26. Don't complain. I know he don't like the foul calls. I know Harden don't like the 2 foul calls he got. Know your opponent. Marcus Smart is a tough defender. That's probably his best attribute. That's probably his best attribute is being a great defender. He's not a great scorer. I wouldn't even consider him a great point guard or a great 2 guard. He's a great defender. So you got to know who you're playing against. You got to know your opponent. So I feel like the loss, you got to take that loss with your head held high. You can't be complaining. Take that L with your head held high and be like, hey, man, we lost that. And like Chris Carter said, they do need Chris Paul because as a point guard, he would know how to control the game. He would know where the ball needs to be. He would know how to run the tempo of the game to keep it from going. So they do need Chris Paul, and that's why James Harden is not a point guard. That's why he is a 2 guard. He's not a normal classic point guard because he can't do that. So, but you got to take that L with your head held high, man. You had a 26-point lead going into the 4th quarter. You let them boys come back, even if there was only 2 refs, even if there was some bad calls at the end. And then another thing, too, Houston took some bad shots. Y'all taking 3-point shots with 20 seconds left on the shot clock. Like, run the clock down. Run some time. Like everybody say, I know Charles Barkley said all the time, you live by the jumper, you die by the jumper. You live by the 3, you die by the 3. That's what Houston is known for, 3-point shooting. Mike D'Antoni teams are known to be great 3-point shooting, not great defensively. You want to shoot the 3? Okay, cool. When they going in, everything is rainbows and cupcakes. But when they're not going in, everything is dark side and looking crazy. So, hey, you live by the 3, you die by the 3. And unfortunately, last night, they got killed by the 3. So you got to be careful with that, man. So Houston is still in it. Boston is going to be a tough out. They will definitely make the playoffs. Are they going to make a lot of noise in the playoff? I don't know about that. I still got to think about that, but they will be a tough out. But my JMO family, like I always do, this is now your time to shine. Let me know how you feel. Let me know what you thought about the game last night. Do you feel like James Harden has a right to complain? So y'all let me know how y'all feel. Let me know what you thought about the First Things First family there. What you thought about Chris Carter and Nick and them. Did they give out some good opinions? And like I always say, and the topic of today is, the question of the day, I should say, I'm just going to start doing questions of the day. Do you feel like Boston will be a tough out in the playoffs? Let me know how you feel. Let me know. But thanks to my JMO family. Continue to watch the videos. Continue to subscribe. Promote your boy here. Let your mama, daddy, cousins, aunties, uncles, best friends, they best friends know about JMO. And let's get these views going and let's get these subscribers, get these thumbs up. And even these thumbs down. Hey, I'm not going to hate. Whatever you feel about the video, you let me know how you feel. But I thank everybody out there that supports. And shout out to all my JMO family. Yes, I am wearing the baseball cap because my hair is looking a little crazy. I need to cut real bad. But, it is what it is. But shout out once again. And your boy's out.